December 1st, 1948, the sun rises over the quiet sands of Somerton Beach in Australia. The morning is peaceful, ordinary, but against the seawall, something is terribly out of place. A man dressed impeccably in a brown suit lies propped up, his legs stretched out, his polished shoes gleaming in the morning light. He looks like he could be sleeping, his face calm, serene. But he isn't sleeping. He's dead. There are no signs of a struggle, no visible injuries. It's as if he simply ... stopped. When police arrive, the mystery only deepens. His pockets are empty of any identification. No wallet, no keys, not even a driver's license. And stranger still, every single label on his clothing has been meticulously cut away. Who was this man? And how did he end up here, a ghost on the shore? At the morgue, the picture becomes slightly clearer, yet more baffling. He was in his early 40s, in excellent physical condition, clean-shaven and well-groomed. But no one in the area recognized him. A nationwide search for missing persons turned up nothing. His fingerprints were sent around the globe, but no law enforcement agency had them on file. His shoes were spotless, suggesting he hadn't walked across the sandy beach to get to his final resting place. So, how did he get there? Did someone carry him? In his pocket, investigators found a few small items: an unused train ticket, an unused bus ticket, and a comb. Tucked behind his ear was a single unlit cigarette. The press, hungry for a name, dubbed him the Somerton Man. The entire country was captivated. An unknown man, erased from the world, had appeared on their shores. But the biggest clue was yet to be found. Weeks after his discovery, during a more thorough examination of his clothes, a pathologist felt something unusual. Sewn into a hidden fob pocket inside the man's trousers was a tiny, tightly rolled scrap of paper. When carefully unfurled, it revealed two printed words: TAMAN SHUD. The phrase was Persian, meaning "it is finished" or "the end." Investigators quickly traced the words to the final page of a famous collection of poems, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. The mystery had just taken a bizarre literary turn. Police issued a public appeal. Had anyone seen a copy of this book? Soon, a local man came forward with an incredible story. He explained that around the time the body was found, he'd discovered a copy of the Rubaiyat tossed into the back of his car, which he'd left unlocked near Somerton Beach. He hadn't thought much of it until he saw the appeal in the newspaper. Police examined the book. The final page, where the words TAMAN SHUD should have been, had been torn out. It was a perfect match to the scrap of paper found on the dead man. The book was the key. But when investigators looked closer, they found something that would baffle experts for the next 70 years. On the inside of the book's back cover, faintly scribbled in pencil, was a code. 5 lines of seemingly random capital letters. Top-level cryptographers from naval intelligence and even Australia's security agencies were called in to decipher it. They tried every technique they knew, but the code was unbreakable. Was it a list of names? A secret message? A final, disparate confession? To this day, the code remains one of the most famous unsolved ciphers in history. What secrets did those cryptic letters hold? With the code leading nowhere, the investigation stalled again. The man's identity was still a complete blank. But the book offered one final, tantalizing lead. A faint phone number was also found written on the back. Police traced it to a young woman, a nurse, who lived just a short walk from where the body was discovered. Her name was Jessica Thompson. When investigators showed her a plaster bust made of the Somerton Man's face, her reaction was shocking. Witnesses said she went pale and looked as if she was about to faint. She seemed to recognize him, but when questioned, she was evasive and denied knowing who he was. She did admit to once owning a copy of the Rubaiyat, the very same edition which she claimed to have given to a soldier during the war. But her story was full of holes. For reasons that remain unclear, police never publicly named her, and her connection to the case was kept quiet for decades. Did she hold the key to the entire mystery? Did she know who he was and why he died? Whatever she knew, she took that secret to her grave. Over the decades, without concrete answers, theories have bloomed like wildflowers in the dark. The most popular theory is that the Somerton Man was a spy. The Cold War was just beginning, and Australia was a hub of intelligence activity. The untraceable poison, the secret code, the clandestine meeting on the beach, it all sounds like something straight out of a spy novel. Was he a Soviet agent, silenced by his own people, or a Western operative eliminated by the enemy. Another theory suggests a more personal tragedy. Perhaps it was a case of love gone wrong. Some believe he was Jessica Thompson's former lover, the father of her child, who had come to see her one last time. His death, by this logic, was a carefully planned suicide, a final, poetic exit staged on the beach near her home. The phrase, "TAMAN SHUD," it is finished, would certainly fit this narrative. Then there's the possibility of something else entirely. A smuggling ring, a black market deal gone bad, or simply a man who wanted to disappear and start a new life, only to meet a tragic end. The cause of death itself was never determined. While poisoning was suspected, no known poison could be identified. He was, in every sense, a ghost. In 1949, with all leads exhausted, the Somerton Man was buried in a cemetery in Adelaide. His headstone reads simply, "Here lies the unknown man who was found at Somerton Beach." For over 70 years, his story has captivated amateur sleuths, historians, and investigators around the world. The man with no name, no past, and no future. But the story isn't quite over. In 2022, after years of legal battles, researchers were finally able to exhume the body and conduct DNA analysis. They announced a breakthrough, tracing the man's family tree to a man named Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne who had disappeared in 1947. This incredible discovery has provided a name, but it has only created more questions. Why did Carl Webb abandon his life? Why did he travel to Adelaide under a false identity? And what was his connection to the nurse, the book of poetry, and the unbreakable code? The name may have been found, but the mystery of the Somerton Man is far from solved. The puzzle pieces are scattered across time, and the truth remains just out of reach, lost somewhere on the sands of Somerton Beach. Thank you so much for watching. This case is one of the most compelling unsolved mysteries of all time, and it just goes to show that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. What do you think happened to the Somerton Man? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the unknown. See you next time.